Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. My name is Mueez Rafiki.
And my name's Abdullah Amin.
We are the Youth Ambassadors for Pakistan this year, and thank you so much for joining us for our cultural episode. What we're going to be doing today is a bit of a trivia game. And before we actually start, I'm going to kind of lay out the process of how it's going to go down, and then we'll get right into it. So what's going to happen is me and Abdullah are going to take turns giving the participants just a little bit of information on each of the 4 categories we've prepared for trivia. So what that's going to look like is I'm going to say a paragraph of information on something like history. Abdullah is going to talk about geography, sports, culture, and once we're gone through all of the information, the participants are going to get a chance to choose one of the categories and answer a question from them. Obviously, they'll be awarded points or something like that if they get the right answer, but the actual objective of doing this is just so that everyone learns a little bit about Pakistan, so we don't necessarily need a winner at the end of the day. Okay, so without further ado, I think we can get straight into some of this information. I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of information about Pakistan's history. Long before Pakistan existed, around 5,000 years ago to be exact, that land was actually home to the ancient Indus Valley civilization. If you fast forward a couple thousand years after that, all of the land which today we know as the separate countries of Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh were actually together known as the subcontinent, more specifically the Indian subcontinent. That area was ruled by Muslims, Hindus, the Mongols, and most recently it was ruled by the British, until after a great struggle led by extremely important people like Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Mahatma Gandhi from India, the countries finally gained independence in 1947. So that's the end of the history section. That's what we're going to be asking you questions from. Now we're going to move over to Abdullah, who's going to give you some more in-depth information about Pakistan's geography and what that looks like.
Hello everybody, now I'm going to be talking about Pakistan's geography. Pakistan is located in South Asia and is bordered by Iran to the west, Afghanistan to the northwest and north, and China to the northeast, and India to the east and southwest. The coast of the Arabian Sea forms its southern border. Pakistan is made up of 4 provinces, which are Balochistan, Punjab, Sindh, and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and these are all made up of a profound blend of landscapes, varying from plains to deserts, forests, and plateaus, ranging from the coastal areas of the Arabian South to the mountains of Karakoram, Hindu Kush, and Himalaya ranges in the north. Because Pakistan encompasses such extraordinary landscapes and regions, it is also home to the only fertile desert in the world, known as Thar Parker, and is also home to the 5 of the 14 mountains that are taller than 8,000 meters, and 2 of the 10 largest mountains in the world. Pakistan is also home to the world's 2nd largest salt mine, and one of the largest copper and gold mines of the world. Pakistan also comprises of a diverse flora and fauna in a wide range of habitats from sea level to high elevation areas in the mountains, including 177 mammal and 660 bird species. This diverse composition of the country's fauna is associated with its location in the transitional zone between 2 major zoogeographical regions, the Palearctic and the Oriental. That's it for geography. Now back to Mueez with the next category.
Awesome. Thank you, Abdullah. Now I'm going to just give you a bit of general information about Pakistan. So it's actually the fact that Pakistan is now the world's 2nd largest Muslim country behind Indonesia in terms of population. The capital city, which is Islamabad, was actually really, really new. It's only 50 years old. And even though that doesn't sound too new, if you compare it to a city like Ottawa, for example, that's almost 200 years old, you understand how relatively it actually is quite a new area. Although Pakistan is similar to Saskatchewan in total size, it has a population of 220 million instead of the roughly 1 million that we have here. One similarity, though, is actually the importance of agriculture. Farming accounts for 18.9% of Pakistan's total GDP, which is pretty incredible if you think about the fact that there isn't actually a lot of viable farmland there. So to be able to extract that much resources from it is quite an achievement. Awesome. Now we're going to move on to the final category, and Abdullah is going to give you some information about sports and culture.
Thank you, Mueez. And now on to sports and culture. The major ethnic groups of Pakistan include Punjabis, Pashtuns, Sindhis, Muhajirs, Baloch, Baharis, Hindkowans, and other smaller groups. Because of all these different groups of people, there are over 60 languages spoken in Pakistan. But even though they are all so different, all Pakistanis wear the shalwar kameez, which is the national dress of Pakistan and is worn by men and women in all 5 provinces. Shalwar refers to loose trouser and kameez refers to the shirts. Since 1982, all officials working in Secretariat are required to wear the national dress. Sport in Pakistan is also a significant part of Pakistani culture. Cricket is the most popular sport in Pakistan, while field hockey, polo, and squash are also popular. Traditional sports like kabaddi and other well-known games are also played. However, the national sport in Pakistan is field hockey. The Pakistan Hockey Federation is the national governing body of field hockey in Pakistan. The Pakistan national field hockey team has won 3 gold medals at the Olympic Games and lifted the Hockey World Cup 4 times, a world record. It has also won the most Asian gold medals and is the only Asian team to have won the prestigious Champions title trophy with 3 titles. It has been consistently ranked amongst the top teams in the world. Squash is another popular sport that has quite a large following in Pakistan, with Pakistan dominating the sport for a period of time. Jahangir Khan, who remained unbeaten in a world record 555 consecutive squash matches, and Jansher Khan are considered legends of the sport and have won several World Squash Championships and other tournaments. Combined, they have won 14 World Opens, making Pakistan the most decorated squash nation in the world. Pakistan is also known as the manufacturer of the official FIFA World Cup ball, as they make half of the world's soccer balls. Yet, as in most parts of South Asia, football or soccer is not especially popular in Pakistan. Now, back to Mueez.
Okay, so that's all the information for our participants. We're going to help you out throughout the questions if you're a little stuck, so don't worry about that. Why don't we start with Howard, the Chinese Youth Ambassador. Howard, what category would you like your question to be from?
Hello, I'm Howard from the Chinese Pavilion. I would like to choose history and as the first question.
Awesome. Abdullah's going to give you a question from history then.
Okay, Howard. I'll give you a question from history. The first question I'll ask you is, what is the subcontinent?
I'm pretty sure that's the land like in the middle, so not close to any water body.
You're close. So there were 3 countries in particular that made up the subcontinent. And to give you a hint, I specifically called it the Indian subcontinent. And since we're the Pakistan Youth Ambassadors, that might help give you 2 out of the 3 countries.
Can I have some multiple choice?
Okay, so how about do you think that the subcontinent is made out of the countries of Afghanistan, Pakistan, and China? Option A. Option B, do you think that the subcontinent is Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan? Or option C, do you think that the subcontinent is the countries of Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh?
I'm pretty sure it's A, right?
It's actually option C. I tried to help you by telling you it was the Indian subcontinent, Howard, but don't worry, that was a very good shot. So the subcontinent, the reason it's called that is because before there actually weren't separate countries. They didn't have independence, right? That entire landmass of Pakistan and then India and then Bangladesh, it was all just considered one region that was ruled by like different people throughout history. So we didn't get those separate countries until really recently, until like 1947. So like a lot of people don't realize that, and it is kind of interesting to see how there are like so many cultural overlaps in those different areas as far as like religion or tradition and different things. And part of the reason is because there was so much overlap between the people in those areas historically as well. So good shot. That was awesome. Maybe we'll have better luck with the next question. Okay.
Thanks so much.
No worries. We'll have you back here in just a couple seconds. Our next question is going to go to Nicole. Nicole, what category would you like your question to be from?
Hi, I'm Nicole from the South Sudanese Pavilion, and I would like my question to be from the culture category.
Okay, Nicole. So my question for you is, what is the national sport of Pakistan?
The national sport of Pakistan is field hockey.
Correct.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think we gave Nicole an easier question, to be fair, but good job either way. That's actually a common misconception. Like Abdullah mentioned when he was giving the information, cricket is super popular in Pakistan. Like more people know about it or watch it or play it. But the actual national sport is field hockey, similar to probably here the same way it's like with hockey and lacrosse, right? Hockey is a lot more popular, but technically our national sport in Canada is lacrosse, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
Right? So it's a similar thing there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good job, Nicole.
Thank you.
Let's give Howard another chance here to redeem himself. Howard, what category would you like your next question to be from?
I'll choose history again.
History again. Okay. So, Howard. When was Pakistan founded? And I know you might want multiple choice, so here are some options.
It should be 1947, right?
Oh, well, you got it right then.
He doesn't need multiple choice. Howard's on point this time. Awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, we can move straight into the next question then. Nicole, it's back to you. Where would you like your question to come from?
I would like my question to come from geography.
Okay, Nicole. So, name the only fertile desert in the world that is located in Pakistan.
This one is pretty tough. I can reword the question for you if you want some help.
Yes, please.
Okay, how about this? What type of geographical area is Pakistan known for the most? Is it known for A, the abundance of plains, B, the abundance of lakes and rivers, or C, the giant mountain ranges?
Oh, giant mountain ranges.
Okay, awesome. So that desert question, that was it's a little more difficult to siphon through all of that information. Abdullah, if you want to talk a little bit about that desert, just so we have the information, we can just mention that as well. But good job, Nicole. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job. Well, the only fertile desert that is in the world that is located in Pakistan is called the Thar Parker Desert, and as it's called, it is the only fertile desert in the world. That's about it.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's an area located in Sindh, and people can actually like grow things and live off of that area, even though it is technically a desert, and it's extremely humid and hot there. So, okay, awesome. Next question for Howard. What would you like?
I'll go with sports.
Okay, Howard. How much of the world's soccer balls are produced in Pakistan?
Can I have some multiple choice?
Of course you can.
Okay. Well, A, a quarter, B, half, or C, 75%.
75%.
Do you want another try?
Almost, Howard.
Half?
Yep.
Yes, there we go. Awesome. Yes. We gave you a lot of information from those sections. So to be fair, there was a lot of info there. Good job. So it's pretty interesting to think that literally like half of the world's soccer balls come from a country that doesn't even actually relatively play soccer that much in relation to other sports, at least, right? Like you'd think that they might be produced in a place like Brazil or Spain or something like that, but no, there are actually almost so many of them are produced in Pakistan. So it's something kind of interesting. Awesome. Good job, Howard. Let's go back to Nicole for another question here.
Hey. I would like to choose from general.
General. Okay, Nicole. So my question for you is, where does Pakistan's Muslim population rank in size?
220 million.
Okay, close. That's the total population of Pakistan. If you remember, I don't know if you remember, at the beginning of that section, I said that Pakistan was either, I'll give you some options here. Either it was the 10th largest Muslim population in the world, it is the second largest Muslim population in the world, or it's the largest Muslim population.
It's the largest. It's the largest. That's what I remember.
Almost. So it's actually it's the second largest Muslim population in the world. It's just behind recently I learned this morning, actually, I thought it was still behind India that had the largest Muslim population, but that's not true anymore. It's actually Indonesia now. So Pakistan is number 2. Yeah,
Okay.
awesome. Look, see, even I learned something this morning. Who would?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Let's just let's give each of the participants one more question, and then we can wrap up here. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Awesome. So let's give Howard another shot here. Howard, where would you like your question to come from?
I'd like to choose from sports again.
Okay, Howard. So sports. What was Jahangir Khan's unbeaten world record? Now this is a hard one, so I'll give you some multiple choice.
Why don't we try a different type of question? I don't want to.
Okay.
I want to give Howard a bit of a break here. We've been
Okay.
hitting him real hard with these questions over and over again. So
It's okay.
let's try
It's
this.
okay.
If you had to guess, what sport do you think Pakistan has won a world title in? A, soccer, B, squash, or C, volleyball? So your options were A, soccer, B, squash, or C, volleyball.
It'll be squash, right?
That is correct.
Correct.
Yeah, like Abdullah mentioned, we actually have a pretty good history with squash. Both Jahangir Khan and Jamshir Khan, both each won. They were each
14
went to the
overall.
final, I believe, 9 times each, and collectively they won that final 14 times. So that's like pretty incredible if you think over a span of time. Like if I think Jahangir Khan won that title, I think like 7 consecutive or 8 consecutive years, literally. Like that's like very dominant in such a, like an international sport. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, now to wrap up our question session here, we're gonna give Nicole the final question. Where would you like the question to come from, Nicole?
I would like the question to come from culture.
Okay. So my question for you is, how many languages are spoken in Pakistan?
Oh, easy. 16.
So it was at 16 or 60?
16.
Well,
Okay, maybe you just misheard Abdullah when he was saying it, so that's not your fault at all. It was actually 60, but I'm guessing that you probably just like misheard him when he was giving the information. So no worries, we're gonna count that as a right answer. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, I think that's also really interesting because sometimes people they make the assumption that because Pakistan is like, it's a Muslim country, people there must all be assimilated and must have like very similar traditions and stuff like that. But there's actually a lot of diversity there. There's a ton of different ethnic backgrounds and different groups of people that have their own unique traditions and own unique cultural additions to like their religion and whatever else they're practicing. And one piece of evidence to support that is the fact that there are over 60 different languages that are spoken there. So that is something interesting to keep in mind. Okay, so that brings us to an end of the questions that we had planned for you guys. You did really awesome considering all of the information we threw at you in such a short amount of time. So thanks for joining us. Do you have any final questions before we leave today?
Yeah, I have a question about, do you guys have a traditional drink, like tea or coffee or something like that?
well, yes, we actually have a traditional drink, which is a type of tea, which it's a milk tea. That's called chai, which we drink a lot in Pakistan. You probably see people drinking like 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah, so that's actually, it's a little different than tea that's here. Usually tea that's here, the way that you make it is you just like heat up water and then you put like some sort of tea bag inside and you let it steep there for a little bit. Normally when we make chai, the way that we do it is we have an actual pot or something. We put it on the stove. We mix water and milk. It depends. Some people like it in different ratios, but usually it's close to like 50-50 actually. So you're putting in the same amount of milk as you are water, which is way different from like tea here. Usually here, it's like all water and then you just top it off with like a little bit of milk, usually just to cool it down if you want to, right? But yeah, it has usually a much more distinctive flavor than I guess tea here. It's very different. And yeah, it's something that people do enjoy drinking a lot there. Even I have it, like parents got me addicted to it. So I drink it like 2-3 times a day as well. Awesome. That was
I'd like to try it when I have time.
I'll make sure I can bring you some when we have our youth ambassador party afterwards. Okay?
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
Promise.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I have a question if you guys don't mind.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Okay. as you said, Pakistan's really diverse with its languages. So, what languages do both of you guys speak?
I speak Pashto, which is the main language in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and Mueez speaks.
I also speak Urdu. So there's also some differences. Like my parents, my mom and my dad, they can also speak Punjabi. I can understand that because it's very similar to Urdu. A lot of the words have the same roots and bases, but I can't speak it because I don't know exactly how to say every single word. But yeah, I can understand Urdu and Punjabi, and I can speak Urdu very fluently. So awesome question.
Is there a like dominant language in like a majority language in Pakistan? Like in China, of course, we have Mandarin.
So there's two official languages. Oh, go ahead, Abdullah. Yeah.
Sorry about that. The two official languages of Pakistan, which are required for all government jobs, are English and Urdu. Because English because it was a former colony, and Urdu because it's just so easy to learn. Kind of like English.
Yeah, Urdu also, it's structurally and the way that the letters and the words are formed, it's also very similar to Arabic, which is also useful for people there considering it's a Muslim country. Being able to have some like basic knowledge about how Arabic letters are and things like that is helpful as well. Those are some very interesting questions, guys. Awesome. Thank you very much. Is there anything else? No, I think we're at the end here. No, thank you guys for coming. I hope that you were able to learn a little bit from our time together, and I hope we can see you again in the future.
For sure.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good day.